Unfortunately, I'm here today because our city is now added to the list of cities across the country where another African American man has died as a result of the use of lethal force with the interaction of law enforcement. I offer my sincere condolences to the family of Patrick Lyoya, who is grieving the death of a son, a father, and brother. And this is also a very difficult time for the members of our police department and the officers specifically as they process this very regrettable event in which a life has to be taken in enforcement of the law. When I saw the video, it was painful to watch, and I immediately asked, what caused this to happen? And what more could have been done to prevent this from occurring? I continue to ask those questions and will be looking for those answers as a result from the investigative process, as well as future improvements to policy and practice. As a nationally recognized expert on the use of force, we are fortunate to have Chief Winstrom, who is both a certified law enforcement officer as well as an attorney. And he is well positioned to help us find answers, identify accountability, and propose improvements. As city manager, the public has my commitment to get through this together. But there will be understandably expressions of shock, of anger, and of pain. We acknowledge that this is a necessary process, but the city has the courage to embrace the tough questions and answer those questions, and are committed to operating with full transparency and accountability to make sure that justice prevails. Again, I want to thank Police Chief Winstrom for his commitment to transparency and agreeing to release the video which you will see today, despite requests for waiting to do so. I also want to thank our community partners and advocates for providing the necessary support during this difficult time while still holding us accountable to make sure that its police department and its government not only does the right things in terms of process, but also does the right thing in terms of decisions. We are determined to get this right. Several years ago, reflecting our commitment to accountability, our city commission adopted a policy requiring a third-party investigation of all officer-involved shootings. And this is to be led by the Michigan State Police. The city immediately utilized that policy following the unfortunate incident on April the 4th. As of today, that investigation is still ongoing, and we have not heard the determination from the prosecutor, we have not heard the determination from the Michigan State Police or a determination from the prosecutor, but the chief will operate in full transparency to let the public know what he knows of what happened at that time. I urge the state police to prioritize and continue their investigation in an urgent manner. This family, the officer, and our community deserves answers. Our oversight office will continue to monitor and investigate the actions, and our city attorney has actively been involved. And at this time, I would like to present our Director of Oversight and Public Accountability, who monitors the actions of the police department, Mr. Brandon Davis.
Thank you, City Manager, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brandon Davis. I serve as the Director of Oversight and Public Accountability here in the City of Grand Rapids. This is an exceptionally tough time for our community. I want to start by sharing my sincerest thoughts and prayers with the family of Patrick Lyoya, with our community, and all those who have been impacted by this incident. The loss of life is always tragic, and given the history of our country, when a life, particularly the life of a black man, is lost during an interaction with law enforcement, there's a great deal of emotion, frustration, and anger. As an oversight professional, it is important that I review, monitor, and audit all investigations impartially based on law and policy, and I will do that. However, that does not remove my humanity or empathy, and as such, I grieve with our community. Throughout this process, I have been extremely grateful for the collaboration and openness that the Chief and GRPD have shown to the Office of Oversight and Public Accountability. In this instance, the Chief made sure to notify me of the events of April 4th and welcomed me to the scene in order to ensure that there was independent oversight monitoring the activity that was taking place. Additionally, the Chief ensured that OPA had access to the videos of this incident. It is without hesitation that I say, since his arrival, Chief Winstrom and GRPD have been more collaborative with the Office of Oversight and Public Accountability than any other time in OPA's history. With that being said, while monitoring this first phase of the investigation, I've noted items for us to consider to ensure that we do the best job possible of ensuring accountability and transparency as we move forward. After this investigation is concluded, we'll do a post-incident review of the city's actions and consider concerns like how much time it took to release the video of this incident, or questions like when should an officer's name be released in connection with an investigation. We have to ask how much time it took to render aid, or what policy changes, if any, can be implemented to help prevent this type of result. We also have to ask questions like when should officers use disengagement as a form of de-escalation. I'm committed to thoroughly reviewing these matters post-investigation and any other questions or concerns that might arise throughout the course of the investigation. However, right now, the most important thing for my office to do is to monitor this investigation to ensure that there is truth and accountability. There are several agencies that will be involved throughout the course of this investigation. I want to take a moment to help clarify the roles of different agencies throughout the process. The Michigan State Police are responsible for the criminal investigation in this case. Pursuant to city policy, whenever there is an officer involved shooting, we refer that investigation to the Michigan State Police. Once the Michigan State Police complete their investigation, they will forward that investigation, if they choose to the Kent County Prosecutor's Office for the review for criminal charges. It is the prosecutor's office that has the ability to make a decision regarding criminal charges. The city of Grand Rapids does not have any authority or discretion in that space. The MSP will also forward that investigation to the Grand Rapids Police Department for review by the Internal Affairs Division, and there will be an Internal Affairs investigation. That investigation will be monitored by the Office of Oversight and Public Accountability. We will audit that investigation. We will seek transparency. We will seek truth. Justice requires that this matter be handled fairly and efficiently. The Lyoya family and all the parties involved deserve a fair and transparent investigation. As the director of OPA, I will do everything in my power to make sure that that happens. At this point, I'll turn it over to the chief.
This is a difficult day. My heart goes out to the family of Patrick Lyoya. I want to thank the city for the patience it's shown during this process, and I especially want to thank the Congolese community of West Michigan, who even in their grief and anger have shown me nothing but love and respect. I also want to thank the men and women of the Grand Rapids Police Department who continue to sacrifice and come to work each day during this, what is the most difficult times. I'm going to play the video, which is about 20 minutes. I will be pausing it twice before, in two different segments before the fatal gunshot is fired. This critical incident community briefing will provide you with information about a recent officer-involved shooting that occurred on April 4th, 2022. This briefing has been prepared so that you may have a better understanding of the circumstances which led to the use of force. Grand Rapids Police Department does conduct very thorough investigations of use of force. Every officer-involved shooting is a traumatic event for all involved, and each officer-involved shooting is reviewed by the Michigan State Police to ensure compliance with the law. Even as the Grand Rapids Police Department and the Michigan State Police conduct their own investigations, the Kent County Prosecutor's Office conducts an independent review of the incident. All individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Both agencies are in the very early stages of the investigation. Our understanding of the incident may change as additional evidence is collected, analyzed, and reviewed. These investigations typically require multiple witness interviews, review of video footage, and analysis of significant amounts of forensic evidence. We do not draw conclusions about whether the officer involved acted consistent with the law, our policies, and our training until the facts are known and the entire investigation is complete. The initial videos you will see in this briefing were captured with a body-worn camera and in-car camera video of the Grand Rapids police officer. The other videos in this briefing were captured by a home surveillance system and a cell phone recording. The body-worn camera is placed near the center line of an officer's uniform shirt. It is important to note the camera lens is fixed and does not capture what is seen by the human eye. It is affixed to the uniform by a magnet system and can be knocked off, or buttons could potentially be manipulated during a physical encounter. Materials presented in these videos have been redacted to protect the privacy rights of the individuals. However, such redactions do not affect the depiction of events presented in these videos. There is graphic content, as I've said. On Monday, April 4th, 2022, at approximately 11 a.m., a Grand Rapids police officer observed a vehicle with an improper Michigan registration driving west on Griggs Street Southeast from Newark Avenue Southeast. The officer followed the vehicle and performed a traffic stop on Nelson Avenue Southeast, north of Griggs Street. The vehicle was driven by Patrick Lyoya, a 26-year-old male. The vehicle was also occupied by another individual who filmed a portion of the incident. This video is from the Grand Rapids police officer's in-car video recording. In-car video recording begins 90 seconds prior to activation. Audio recording begins at activation.
Hey, stay in the car! Stay in the car!
Nelson and Griggs. Yeah, we're on it. North, south. One running northbound, additional units, Nelson and Griggs. bro. 1915, turn me some more cars. 1915, what's your location? What's your location? How many cars you got going? Everyone. 6 in total. Is this car still at Nelson and Greg? It is. 1915. I was just involved in shooting. Nelson Griggs. 1915, 10-4, Nelson and Griggs. Starting medical.
You'll see shortly, well, you won't see it, out of view shortly, the first responding officer for backup is going to arrive.
I'm Nelson. North and Griggs, I'm 10-4. Suspect's down.
And instruct the passenger of the vehicle to walk backwards.
Nelson, North, Griggs, suspect down. 1920, I've seen it. 1610, where's your subject? The access to any weapons and which way you face? 1950, that's my taser. We're addressing one more. 1625, done for addressing one more.
This is video from the Grand Rapids police officer's body worn camera.
Hey, stay in the car! Stay in the car! Stay in the car! Get in the car! Dude, I'm stopping you. Do you have a license? Do you have a license?
What?
I'm stopping you. Do you have a license?
What doesn't?
Do you have a driver's license? Do you speak English?
Yes.
Can I see your license?
What does it want?
The plate doesn't belong on this car. Do you have a license or no? Do you have a driver's license?
Yes.
Where is it at?
It's in the car.
Get it for me.
What does it want?
The plate does not belong on this car.
Oh, no. Y'all been on my right there. Right there.
No, no, no. Stop, stop. Put your hands right here. Stop. 1915. Got one running. Northbound. Stop. Stop.
Okay.
Stop. Stop. Get your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. $19.50. Starting some more cars. Stop. Stop resisting. Let go of the taser.
What's the problem?
Let go of the taser.
The officer's body-worn camera deactivated at this point. This video was captured from a neighborhood home surveillance system. That sound was a taser discharging.
Let go of the taser.
In about 10 seconds, the fatal shot will be captured on this video. entire video obtained from a third-party cell phone recording.
Yeah.
1915. Turn up some more cars.
No, you say he's good, but man, yo, what's up, man?
Stop. Stop resisting.
No, he good. He not resisting nothing, bro. Okay, why you gotta do all that, bro? He good, man.
That was the sound of a taser discharging.
Let go of the taser. Let go of the taser.
No, like he good. Like you can talk to him, bro. Yeah. Like he good, bro. Like can you talk to him like good? Like can you? Yeah. Stop grabbing him like that. No, he good like for real. Yo, you hit him too. He can shit.
Let go of the taser.
No, he ain't grab no tail. I see that.
Let go of the taser.
6010, how many cars you got going?
Drop the taser.
Should have given more warning, but this is the second point where the fatal gunshot will be heard.
Yo, you hit him too. He can shit.
Let go of the taser.
No, he ain't grab no tail. I see that.
Let go of the taser.
See the fatal gunshot in 10 seconds.
6010, how many cars you got going?
Drop the taser. Get back. Get back. 1915. I was just involved in shooting. Nelson Griggs. I'm Nelson. North of Griggs. I'm looking forward.
Before we have the chief come to answer any questions that he may be able to do, again, this is very regrettable, very sad day in our community, and we have heard several expressions of a range of emotions, and we will get through this. It will be hurtful, but it will help us to get to the bottom of all the questions that were highlighted earlier. I want to thank our city commissioners also for their support. Several of them are here today, and the mayor is here with us. I also want to, again, express my condolences to the family, and I also acknowledge the voices we have been hearing calling for this, along with more answers to questions and accountability. And all of them have been peaceful. All the demonstrations and protests have been peaceful. I want to thank those community partners who have been helping to organize those protests in a peaceful manner. I see Commissioner Womack here today. Thank you for that, along with the community pastors and who have been helping the family, as well as their outside counsel, Attorney Crump, who spoke to our community and expressed the desires to get down to get answers as well as justice but do it in a way that is respectful of, honors Patrick's life and as his family has wished. So at this time, I'm going to have the chief come and answer any questions about the actual incident.
No, so I've got, so the question is, am I planning on naming the officer? And usually, over the past few days, that question has been framed, and if this was anybody but a police officer, you would have said the name. And I'm going to treat the officer like I would anybody else. We don't name suspects. If the officer is charged with a crime, we will name him at that time. But the short answer is no, I'm not going to be naming the officer.
How do you expect people to have trust in this process then if they don't know who this officer is?
Sure. And I'll tell you, so the process is this. We have an outside agency looking into this incident. It's the Michigan State Police. Generally speaking, when they complete their investigation is traditionally when videos like this would be released. We felt that on balance, it was more important to be transparent with the community, to provide what information the Grand Rapids Police Department has immediately before that process is finished. So that might be a better question for the Michigan State Police to say when their investigation will be complete, to provide the answers that I can't give.
Are the actions taken by this officer in accordance with Grand Rapids Police use of force policy?
That's a great question, and one that we will definitely come to an answer with. However, I'm not running the investigation. This is the video of the information that I have, but there is an entire investigation being conducted by the Michigan State Police, which I do not have access to by design for conflict of interest. I will not make a policy decision, nor will I come to a conclusion of criminal law at this time. As soon as that investigation is completed and handed over to my agency, we will come to those conclusions. Go ahead. Sure, that's a great question. The body-worn camera, as you can tell from the video, is deactivated. We actually own that body-worn camera because it was on a Grand Rapids Police Department officer, and that technology is such that it's a record, not only every time it turns on and off, but every time the button is tapped. So to turn a body-worn camera off once it's activated, the officer has to hold the button steady for 3 seconds. What we've seen in examining the information on that is that it was hit many times during that struggle. That was the first moment that it was held down for more than 3 seconds. That's what deactivated it.